Creed 3, the newest film in the Rocky Creed universe, and the very first one to not feature Rocky Balboa at all. And while this isn't quite a TKO, it definitely goes the distance. Adonis Creed, played by Michael B. Jordan, is enjoying his retirement, spending time with his wife and daughter, played by Tessa Thompson and Mila Davis Kent, respectively, and working to train up for the next generation of boxers. However, an old childhood friend of Donnie's, Damien, played by Jonathan Majors, has come back into his life after having served 18 years in prison, and he wants a shot in the ring. Circumstances cause the once close friends to become estranged and hostile to each other, and to settle the score, Adonis may have to return to the ring one last time, but first he must confront his own past. Creed 3 is kind of a mishmash of ideas from both Rocky 3 and Rocky 5. So I guess it would be fair to say that this one isn't exactly the most original film out there. I mean, that is to be expected. This franchise has a definite formula, and it doesn't really stray too far from it. So yeah, if you're sick of the Rocky formula, then that is going to be kind of a problem. But in all honesty, if you've been following Creed's story up to this point and you liked the first two like I did, then I think you'll like this one. The characters are just as good as they've been up to this point, and their actors continue to excel, particularly Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson. Jonathan Majors is also really great in this film as the childhood friend turned enemy, as he plays a character who you can just sense in almost every scene he's in, the rage and anger that he feels from being locked away for so long, and because of Adonis having what he feels like should be his. And the film goes to great lengths to explore the themes of guilt and forgiveness, both for others and for yourself, and the dangers of refusing to let the past go. And it all unfolds very organically. This doesn't feel like a case where you feel like this conflict could have been easily avoided. It feels like something that was unavoidable, and the actions that the characters take leading up to it flow well. This is Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, and he actually does a really good job here. Aside from an occasional out-of-focus shot, he is exceptionally good behind the camera. Based on this one movie alone, he's kind of what I would describe as subtly showy. There's a couple of really cool moments that are thrown in there to showcase his talent, but the film also doesn't draw attention to them. One choice that was made by him that was really interesting and added its own flair to this film's fighting scenes in particular, and that's the way that he films certain punches. Like the camera will linger in slow motion on punches as they collide, and sweat is going to leap off of their bodies. And it's done in kind of like a stylized manner, but not so much that it feels out of place. And it didn't occur to me while I was watching it, but I found out later that Jordan took inspiration from anime for directing the fight scenes, and it does help give this film's fighting its own unique flair. But by far the most unique thing about this film was the way it presented the final boxing match. I'm not sure I really want to give it away more than that, but once you see it in the film, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The way it was shot, it really did a fantastic job at emphasizing just how personal the fight was between these two. Whoever made that decision, it was a great decision, and Michael B. Jordan did a fantastic job at conveying the emotion of the moment. So the characters are well written, the themes work and stem naturally from the plot, the acting's all good, and the fight scenes are pretty unique. My biggest reservations largely come from the slightly underwritten screenplay. There are a couple of elements that I felt definitely could have been done better. One set of characters kind of disappears from the story completely after about the halfway point. I mean, they briefly reappear for like 2 quick shots during the final fight, but for the most part, they're absent, and it felt weird, considering how their story ended and what happened to them. It was weird to me that they didn't get at least one scene of them talking to Adonis about the events that actually happened in the film. There's also a brief subplot about their daughter Amara getting into a fight at school, and that doesn't really go anywhere. And speaking of their daughter Amara, there was one shot where the character was clearly supposed to be sad and upset, but it looks like she's holding back laughter. Maybe they should have gone with a few more takes just to make sure that was right. But honestly, if things like that are my biggest complaints, that's honestly a pretty good sign that you're watching a good movie. I found myself riveted by the vast majority of the runtime. The characters and the dilemmas that they were in felt real. The things that they struggled with and the difficulty in communicating those struggles all felt real. And as always, the boxing scenes are always a real treat to watch. If you're already not a fan of this franchise, then yeah, this isn't going to win you over. But for those who already enjoy these films and enjoy watching these characters, this will hit the spot. Creed 3 gets a full shot. That review you just heard was an excerpt from my weekly review show This Weekend, where I review 5 brand new movies every single weekend. If you would like to check that out, then make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss it. And as always, if you want to see more of my reviews, you can check out my Letterboxd account. The link is in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.